What if the person you trust the most is the one secretly dismantling your confidence piece by piece? And what if your unwavering loyalty to them is the very chain holding you in place? I once had someone in my life who was the perfect picture of support. They were always the first to ask how I was, to offer a shoulder, to check in with advice that sounded so wise. But after every one of our talks, I felt strangely diminished, as if a little more of my light had been snuffed out. My own decisions suddenly felt flawed, my instincts unreliable. For the longest time, I mistook their constant attention for genuine care, but looking back through a clearer lens, I can see the truth. Their concern was a mask for a quiet, creeping toxicity. And the most terrifying part? It was completely invisible. There was no shouting, no overt insults, just a steady, subtle manipulation dressed up as love. It took me far too long to recognize the pattern. If you have someone in your life who leaves you feeling drained, confused, or smaller, all without ever raising their voice, then this message is for you. Here are 10 signs that reveal the quiet poison of a secretly toxic person. The first sign is the emotional vampire. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling as though someone reached deep inside you and turned off a switch, even though they were smiling the entire time? That hollowed-out feeling isn't just bad vibes, it's the signature of an emotional vampire. They don't attack you directly. Instead, they bleed you dry with 1,000 tiny cuts. A backhanded compliment that sounds sweet but stings afterward. A subtle roll of the eyes when you share a dream. A dismissive little laugh that invalidates your feelings. These microaggressions create an undercurrent of constant tension, putting your nervous system on high alert even when your conscious mind can't pinpoint why. If you find yourself breathing a sigh of relief when they cancel plans, or if you feel like you need to recover after seeing them, listen to that feeling. Your body is waving a giant red flag. You aren't being overly sensitive, you're being siphoned. The second sign is far more insidious, and it appears only when you're winning. It's the success saboteur. You share incredible news, a new job, a blossoming relationship, a personal goal you finally crushed. Their response almost always starts with a smile, but it's immediately followed by a dose of small so they can continue to feel big. The third sign is the secret collector. You feel special, like you're the one they trust with their deepest secrets. But you're not a confidant. You're a temporary storage unit for information. They draw you in with that classic, tempting line, "I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but..." And suddenly, the private details of someone else's life are spilled into your lap. It feels like a bond of trust, but it's actually an act of surveillance. Because the moment your back is turned, they are doing the exact same thing with your private life. This isn't about building intimacy. It's about using information as currency. They trade secrets to maintain relevance and a sense of control over their social circle. The more you know, the more entangled you become. The fourth sign is the crisis creator. Notice the pattern? Every time something wonderful happens in your life, a promotion, an engagement, a moment that's supposed to be all yours, their world suddenly implodes. All at once, their life becomes the 5-alarm fire and the spotlight swings directly to their emergency. While genuine crises are a part of life, for a toxic person, chaos is a tool deployed with clockwork precision whenever they're not the center of attention. If you don't drop everything to perform a rescue, the drama escalates. It's not a string of bad luck, it's a calculated act of emotional hijacking. If their life only seems to fall apart when yours is finally coming together, it's not a coincidence. It's control disguised as a crisis. The fifth sign reveals itself in their apologies. It's the apology recycler. They mess up, they hurt you, and they deliver a heartfelt, tear-filled apology. They might even share a story from their painful past to explain their behavior. For a moment, you believe them, but then the same behavior happens again and again. They don't apologize to change, they apologize to reset the game clock. Their remorse makes you feel guilty for being upset, and suddenly, you're cast as the cold, unforgiving one for not simply letting it go. A true apology is followed by a change in behavior. A fake one is just a strategy to buy more time inside the same toxic pattern. You've now seen 5 signs of someone who appears supportive but is quietly eroding your well-being. These next signs go even deeper, exposing avoid all responsibility. Their life isn't a series of unfortunate events. It's a script where they are the flawless martyr and you are expected to play the role of the sympathetic audience. The seventh sign is the boundary punisher. You calmly and respectfully state a need or draw a line. They don't argue or yell. Instead, they punish you with silence. They become cold, distant, and sulk. They might drop subtle guilt-inducing comments or even recruit others to subtly imply that you overreacted. You're left questioning yourself. Was it really that big of a deal? Yes, it was, and that doubt you feel is precisely the point. Healthy people may be disappointed by a boundary, but they ultimately respect it. Toxic people view it as a personal attack, and their goal is to punish you into submission. They are conditioning you to keep your walls down so they never lose access. The eighth sign is the commitment shifter. They make grand promises, agree to plans, and commit to helping you. And then, it's as if the conversation never happened. When you bring it up, they counter with, "I never said that," or "You must have misunderstood me." Suddenly, you're the one who is confused, frantically scrolling through old text messages to prove you're not crazy. This isn't just forgetfulness, it's a form of reality distortion known as gaslighting. By constantly shifting the terms of your shared reality and denying their own words, they slowly erode your trust in your own memory. It keeps you off balance and makes you easier to control. The ninth sign is the selective empathizer. This person can be incredibly kind, compassionate, and understanding, but only when it's convenient. They'll offer a shoulder to cry on when it makes them look good or costs them nothing. But the moment you truly need support, when your problems are messy, inconvenient, or threaten to pull attention away from them, their empathy vanishes. Suddenly, they become distant, irritated, or cold. It creates a dizzying emotional whiplash. Genuine empathy doesn't have an on-off switch. If their compassion only appears when it benefits them, it's not a real connection. It's a performance. The 10th and final sign is the relationship disposer. Pay close attention to how all their past relationships have ended. Often, there's a pattern of intense idealization followed by swift devaluation. Someone consistently leaves you feeling anxious, drained, and uncertain. That's not you being dramatic. That is your intuition screaming a warning that your mind hasn't yet put into words. Truly supportive people don't need to control you. They celebrate you, respect your boundaries, and take ownership of their mistakes. So when something feels off, trust that feeling. Your instincts aren't overreacting. They are protecting you.